Mama Kwaba, Edwaba, KOFI TV so live, or sharing our Facebook, yada say, or joining him Bribia Sanso, and our sharing our YouTuber, Yama Kwaba. Mama Diana, leave a comment na to me and can ever show you so. There's this issue, and no, and as I say, if say Ghana ha a yet topic over these few days. Na topic was asking me home, and Chimua, as I say, Eba. Any day into me MIA no me just say interview no na ya very clear on this matter. Ya wo ho na yete say Kwesi Nyantaki'S omampani na boafo so e de nsem bia betu dwa say yenko na yenko chi no sabe no na weni oman Ghana na o Morocco en nti obesi enra no enti ene say ye che no interrogate ne kakra e de no eko ye please kache atna kese mu CID for atna ye kese mu omo free ho de ne ko ne fie ko ye search kakra ansana ye granting a bill e ho asem no akoye asem bia obeka se yetase ne be se panic ko ne haban yetase ne banyansafo ye nhedanya the full picture of the story. The reason being say Ghana asem ba ye hwe no afafa won't say we assume we feel say there are even people who are trying to give political tones to asemwa I see. There are some who believe say oh ya ban na achi no enti no the aban beka bia ye nokre yemia no ne yenku no. There are some who believe say no abra na ye woso no na order so ye na dwuma enti si achi ne this time it suggests say e bia ye tiny ni enam say ye ni aban munti asem no ne ka no oni amanyofo di nkomo a enchiremu a wo mode ma no enhyeda enkoyi emfa ma yen papa in our search and ye hunu say opani in fact he even stated, my father sacrificed my education for hearts. We go now searching Idia, Al-Wahab, former Hearts management member in sports ministry, just a lot of issues on sports. And so I realized the expertise in sports will be to me at the Abwaye. Then in our interview, I think me and son. And you know, the feedback we get very great, and it tells how objective or in his analysis. And in January, I say, ebedim komo na wetumi aboaye in this matter. Al-Wahab, we international diplomatic consultant, investment business consultant. I just say, fana mama ya hodo ntemu kra no investments ahodo no omutumi kofa bi no mo de abro my way na wo mo na dwuma waye acha watiku a ogusu a wedi ho adwuma. And actually no say America say we diplomatic advisor to the Serbian Special Envoy for Africa, Asia, and Pacific. His Excellency, is it
Unauthorized?
Unauthorized. Why be
Prime Minister Dacic.
Prime Minister Dacic.
That's the Serbian Prime Minister.
What does that mean? For and I say that portfolio. What does it mean?
Yeah, what it means is Serbia as a country is in Europe.
Okay.
One of the strongest Balkan allies. At the moment, they used to have a very strong ties with Africa. But somewhere about 9 years ago, when Serbia and then African governments in Ibi recognized Kosovo as a sovereign nation, Serbia detached from Africa and most of the breaky diplomatic ties. Okay. But over the years, on to 10 years or more, Serbia now said no, the hub of businesses and then the new world is Africa. Therefore, Serbia wants to connect back to the stream of African diplomacy and for that matter with African governments. So they appointed a special envoy who is in the name of His Excellency Unauthorized. Okay. And he's in charge of the whole Africa. He's in charge of the whole Africa and then he's also in charge of Asia and Pacific. But then he needed somebody who understands the terrain of Africa, terrain of Asia, and then most especially the Pacific areas. So I've been mandated, that's perfectly mandated, to be the diplomatic consultant, if you will, advisor to he the special envoy. And also, if you are advising the special envoy for Africa and these 3 continents in there, then it means I'm also advising at the same time, directly, indirectly, the Prime Minister of Serbia on African affairs through Unauthorized and the Prime Minister. We have a kind of a very good rapport. Your friend, Mr. Dacic.
Okay.
And that is what I do. And if maybe people will look at just the Sierra Leonean inauguration, that's on the 12th, no? I coordinated the Serbia delegation to Freetown to His Excellency the President of Sierra Leone, Mr. Madabu. We had a very good inauguration at Serbia particularly, and it was my network, and it was my part of my consultancy services at me put to that. And that is not the only country. We had an opportunity, say, my Serbia delegation, Togo president and others in Sierra Leone. We had a brief chat, and then we have other countries which is on the stream. Gabon is on the stream, Guinea Equatorial, which have already established contacts between them and Gabon, and then in Serbia. So it's ongoing process. At the moment, I have a mandate to stimulate conversation between the two countries, 36 countries at the moment that are on the stream on the African continent, and then within the Pacific areas, Vanuatu, Tahiti, and Nepal, and all those, the Oceania states.
Okay.
I'm also doing all those consultancy to bring Serbia into the onto the desk to discuss diplomacy, investments, and then also future bilateral relationships, and then bilateral relations and other things.
Wow.
It's a little bit helpless task, but we are trying. We'll do it.
You are doing very well. And Obia, what contacting and or no wedding comobia, and the feedback they give. Papa no nagimudo, and that is something that I must say. Oh yeah, dear.
Thank you very much.
But this issue, because watching African Union Day, I want us to touch on Africa. You know Africa very well.
That's true.
And so you'll be able to help us. What is our problem? Challenge we see European Union other areas they are doing so well, but yet I don't know, say say one common currency we'll be looking at that. But let's start with Kwesi Nyantaki'S. Strangely, I'm afraid not just where the kind what is the issue? DNA name Kwesi Nyantaki'S, because I understand CID headquarters or Kobe.
Mekoho.
Okay. What are we not being told? DNA koso.
Okay. Yet you say there's going to be an expose by one of the Ghana and Africa's finest investigative journalists, and the name is Anas Arimiyao Anas. This issue, there was a teaser from Mr. Kokuba on one of the my sister stations, Joy, on one fine Saturday. Then he just only released a Bibiba, and what is coming now, a bit hit certain people. And then as time graduated on, we were told, say now finally in the Urbano, rather something about a fee. Let's suppose it be Ghana Blasters or Ghana Football Association. Now rot be akoso. And to that rot no, and that's a tima on cover. Now that rot is something that has been heating in the port of Ghana for all these long years, So now the investigative lens of Anas has zoomed on that rot, and we've arrived on where XYZ maybe are problems in the war. And he expose eba. And I think the dates were set. And as the dates had already been set, it will be premiered across. Premiering no because we be Accra. People are still warming themselves. So Omanya invitations. Just will be up so. Fine. Out of curiosity, you and I know say yes. Why not? We want to be happy. In waiting for this particular expose, which I have said it could only be a documentary. It could only be a good document. Initially now, that aspect now, but now medical I a little bit interview kakra because it borders on sports, And I'm saying true, it's a journalist be Anas and any other journalist, no investigative journalist, not all the expose be bar. It could only be a documentary. And based on the document, it can't be any other thing than a documentary. Me who said the write-up was coming say Anas's documentary. And then it was in the right direction. Documentary can be anything. Now,
Oh, so you have a problem with the name expose?
Expose no you find say a documentary no reveal a lot of other things into V say it is one of those things. It is not out of.
Okay.
After some few days ago, about 3 days ago, now you acquired a program B, 9BS Investments, which is one of the biggest investments, a consultancy platform operating now in Ghana. Now, advisor to the King Albert of Monaco, Waba Ghana. Now, I call Eastern Region. I call hospitals be or the Eastern Region on the 9BS, which I happen to be a consulting partner for the 9BS. Until we went to KOFI until breaking news say there's an instructions which is called an order from the presidency for the GFA president Mr. Nyantaki'S to be arrested. Until now, yemu baako yanamfofo ni be board members no more 9BS no de be me. So with the spouse in tissue, and there was a little bit into me 1 or 2 phone calls, and I so confirm say there's an order for the arrest. So I thought say now there's going to be a documentary to that effect. It has been publicized and advertised. And in that course, then I went to a new turn. And you may know because then we had say rather no the Akobani say as a part of the expose ni be released. And me mom de my life to be on me share TV share. Unfortunately, some of this media stuff me interview away me na ba kokra ni me metima share that me share bibia. Nti man share but I read into excerpts of it and I'm say the president of the GFA has to be arrested or ordered to be arrested. To confirm story tonight certainly very much so. To your friend near T say oh ono kwa no say His Excellency the president of the FA will ni room her. And now and you many throughout the night the write up near banning in arches oh we're joining this or that to we're all a little bit into some of the details now you free the order any the information that were trooping in which I believe said there was a portion of the tape a caption a name maybe a say Mr. Nyantaki'S a name a part into it means informal it is part of the expose na urban which we are all in the wait expecting it say a beban and that was like oh say expose pa and I say heated the public interest what they say I'm a public now very appetized waiting for that and if I was the one I'll hold on back now let it land but say portions back now take it the real feeling out of the this and it is no more catchy stuff now and there and say Mr. Nyantaki'S and he landed from wherever he went Morocco. I think say Morocco with one of the airlines either Emirates or ET or whichever, and these are the flights that arrive between 11:40, 10 up to 12:10. In Emirates, Egypt, which one of them? So I heard say he has been picked or tarmac and so. I had even my reservations over that, meaning say I mean, Sabi Nipano, we Ghanaian or backroom her, and technical understanding is say oba ni krum now definitely the order for the arrest no oba there now on the tarmac arrest in my personal view I think say it was overemphasized and I found it extremely super effective for nothing what they say
because the fact is say what is here penaction
it shows a kind of what a goodwill. So it wasn't necessary in my view, but others have their reservations on that. But I believe say Oba, so escapee and now pursue Jania. Some people wouldn't be bold even to come looking at the gravity and then the noise that was made. Order for his arrest from the presidency. So if the person genuinely came, let us not forget one thing: that if it is Emirates, whichever airline, it is not only one person, and it is only Ghanaians. But what I say, and he's a public figure. Anybody can identify him among the lot. He is coming through a security installation. He's coming through the immigration. So immigration have even an information of his order. They can block him. and he cannot scale and jump over the immigration line. So immigration can even hold him and refer him. That is how any decent form of arrest should take place in this regard. But that kind of action, that is a bit, in my view, over politicized, and that is the thing that Ghana, into moving forward, I say, then you slow down on some of these things, because diplomatically it doesn't augur well for the country. Because it affects us a lot of things. Because look, we should not be positioning ourselves as the Rambo style of arrest in most cases. And when it comes to a political involvement, it has been all over. In Ghana, the same thing. BNI for a year in the public eye. No matter what you be a flight or no, you are stopping the airport. Kiki. At the end of the day, no matter not died down. So what have we done after all? And in moving forward, when we're developing a nation, we develop along with all ranks and files. And then the institutions must be civilized and also be developed. Much as I'm not saying, say, the police did it wrong. No. The police operated on instructions. In that regard, in that sense, not police for a little bit too often, because the pressure coming from wherever, they have no choice. So they have to step out of the bounds of their professionalism and act. So he was finally landed at the your friend is saying police headquarters. My curiosity was the fact that yes, are you getting me? And I know, say, a lot of colleagues and friends of mine in the sports fraternity were there. So it was not it wasn't out of bounds, to see what happened. In that one there, at least about 2-3 hours, and who said he was being taken out. I'm saying Umeki Bibi said he was rushed to his house for a search, etc. Let us maybe correct the impression, say, it be a search. But then I think, say, he was granted bail. And on the mind of the police, they have to know where he stays. Into some of these things, people who jumps and put out there the stories, they must also do their search files properly, so that we will not, what I say, misreporting or exaggerative reportage in this sense. And I believe, say, commonly, say, watch a pickpocket to cry near Belina, at least you didn't coffee baby or tea, and who the guarantors are. And this it doesn't necessarily amount to what? To search. But what I say? I think that was
because the matter crown, I don't know what you are searching, and yes, maybe I on drugs or
you get a point. Maybe they are searching for extra materials related to what it is perceived to be expose. And eventually, the bigger issue, the vacuum. You understand? That was hanging in between. Finally, the person landed. Finally, the person was bailed after all. So now let's come back home. What informed that arrest? What informed the arrest? And I said, one of the Ghana's finest investigative journalists, where some of you or some of them out there have not seen his face before, but he's Anas. Very wonderful work. Anas is by far very intelligent, very classical. Some of us, we understand security intelligence, and then also some of this investigative analysis, call it that way. It is not in doubt of his profession. My difficulty is that, yes, Anas are yet documentary that have been used as a what? A prosecution document or a prosecution instrument, call it a material. Yet media prosecute be a judges. But public till today, some of them are not aware. So the documentary itself, it is one of the main causes. But then the nitty-gritty of those judges being sacked or driven out from the services, to some extent, maybe not only the money that was exchanged hands. That money now exchanging hands, and you can call it a witness. Part of the materials, witnessing the event, and I say giving them out. But if you're listening to the learned judges now, they were sacked because of discussing matters before their court. So they were sacked on ethics basis.
Okay. we akwaje
so obi aba me fie no discuss ma obi be chema ponchina kofi won kofo chewa ponchin da bia Christmas oje kofo be chew tomatoes if it is about what the two of them were communicating no yes there are technical areas that one can argue say because the voice was not but then we are also saying say the learned judges contended say yes they were discussing matters of cases before their court. Okay. And that one, it affects, it borders on what? A certain kind of ethical values and integrity of the judiciary.
Okay.
In this regard, they were sacked. But over one or two of them were not sacked. They did not discuss about the cases before them, regardless of the money issue that was maybe exchanged. Indeed, that was a different scenario. My biggest problem with the whole scenario is not the content which Anas releasing. My biggest of the whole scenario is how country Ghana at the moment we are selling ourselves, holding the flag of negativity in the Western and in the world social media. The last 10 years when Ghana became active our social media, we've picked up serious negative reportage, and if we look at it, it affects country, a whole lot of things, and that is where I'll plead with the public or whoever is watching this show that I have the reservation of my own right as a Ghanaian to talk my mind or to suggest and then to voice out my feelings. Yeah. But if others will share with me, you would understand, say, investigative journalism, Anas is not the only investigative journalist. Wahab.
Yeah, Manasseh investigative journalism.
There are crack ones out there in Europe.
Okay.
So Ghana has the chance and the privilege to have somebody like Anas. It is about the usage of his content that make the whole thing either positive or rubbish.
You think say you're using it?
We are not using that thing well. Let's come back home. Okay. How does a case go to Ghanaian court? The constitution mandates a case either criminal case, a criminal case, and I say a constitutional case, and I say a marital cases, whatever. No case in most of them, Abeko police, especially fraud related, criminal related cases in Abeko police.
Okay,
that is our constitution. Police, the court through the DPP, Director of Public Prosecution. So the police will select who become the prosecutor on court. Enko jinama abang, no ni nipa nindi. Now, say a case ya bro police for adwenswa, refer to Attorney General for advice. No acho mse munye ni sei. Anamo fa case ni mreme, police munye mhumfri me de beko. This is the normal standard. Now let's talk about security intelligence community. You were the MIs, military intelligence. Almost investigative body.
Yeah.
You were CID, only the overlord of all investigations of the country.
Okay.
You were national security. They coordinate. The overall all security information. They coordinate their operations. Into one young friend were national security coordinator.
Okay. And
you were Bureau of National Investigations, which is the BNI. Practically, it came out from the womb of the what? A CID. But they are only specialized on certain things. The CID for the and devil because of whom the bulky job, no CNI is a BNI, no, it was specialized unit to deal. And that's the entities. Now, we are privileged to have Obi Awoye investigative journalists. But when Anas picks up stories or documentary, let us remember one thing. Does that documentary affect the country Ghana and the country's reputation? Vis-a-vis, it affects personalities, and then it affects presidency, individuals, or certain kind of national identity. It is a pick a sound, and you will see ID. And the Ghana government wants to play a ball game, a good game with Anasa. Our son, come here. Fantastic, you are doing a great job. Nemo, we want to conduct and coordinate your operations well. You are higher and fight much more. Say, oh yeah, Ejuma, better than be a CID. But Anas document cannot stand in court as a prosecuting document without giving back to police, because Anas is not a prosecutor in this regard. And it's all person we use Anas document, to stand as a document to prove our court. What you need to do is say, validate the constitutional and do an amendment, and then in this case, Mobe adopt to Anas to say the my citizen vigilante, your friend Martina Midu. One man commission special what prosecutor, and in this case, and they confer that right a special prosecutor for a special investigation from Anas. So Anas can take his documentary and go to court because it has the government mandate.
Okay.
Is that the case? The answer is no.
But Anas investigations or Abra Shiba, I mean, in Common Capacity near interview on a lot of issues. The issue that came up and I said, Bebrenano, our financiers, Al Jazeera, BBC, and all these foreign media, Ekamo Ebi, and Oye, and ultimate granting interview be without Omoma Hokwain. That's so just to say, ultimate far even that document, and far my buying without getting that. That is what I'm saying, sir. That is where I'm coming, and that is where the point is. Anas is a Ghanaian like you and I, holding Ghana birth certificate, holding Ghana passport, and holding Ghana citizenship, and naturalized born Ghanaian. Yeah.
Thank you. Therefore, so Anas a picky documentary or picky investigations. The investigations, Al Jazeera cannot prosecute a case in Ghana.
That's true.
BBC cannot prosecute a case in Ghana. CNN likewise. They are a news media. They are selling their news to the world. They want the world to hear them. They want negative news more than the positive news around the world. Negative ones is coming from Ghana, sponsored by Al Jazeera, operated on the soil of Ghana, selling Ghana out. Meanwhile, countries like Latvia almost advertises CNN, Al Jazeera, advertising good things in their countries and tourism. So what I'm saying is that it is not in doubt of what Anas is doing, but the usage and the content and how it is processed, the country must be a little bit serious. Documentary in this regard, either shown to the presidency or shown to the police, and I'm saying, say, Anas must be processed. The country Ghana is the final arbiter, the final usage, the end user of that product in Ghana, and yet Qatar, where Al Jazeera is housed, and yet BBC London, where BBC is housed. It is not CNN in Atlanta or Chicago. The bottom line is the reversal entry is on the country Ghana. So therefore, Ghana government suppose Anas has a document, and Anas wants to see that prosecution is done. In true manner, the strongness of the mandate that Anas can also go to court and then prosecute or present to the prosecution. But in this regard of Anas documentary, it could not go to any court without validating the story to be a criminal story, and it is only to be given to the CID. That was what took place. Anas is not a complainant in this regard, so Anas couldn't have gone to court. Find out from him and he will tell you. If Anas becomes a complainant, and then in this case, his documentary about a witness material for Anas, then the police will lead Anas into the prosecution desk. So Ghana police now has Anas as a what? A witness, using his documentary. After you process it, the evidences, you check it, police, you sure say everything is right. Either than that, the case in question, that case must have a complainant. When this case started coming out in the air, I said, the presidency cannot do anything unless the president himself becomes a complainant. In the end, that's what happened. Who is the complainant in the case? KOFI TV, a showcase, or advertises or be interview Al-Wahab, and it is advertised, published all over the world. Now there is negativities, ambiguities surrounding the whole thing. KOFI TV you can be a complainant, or your boy can go and say, no, I have a problem with Kofi. So there should be a complainant. And in this regard, the president, complaining CID, say Matis will be a Kamehwasem Bonnet, China and Assembly reporter. It's the same thing, a nice documentary, and you can show it, but it's a mere documentary. Police cannot move because they've seen documentary in the air. What it seeks to attract is that it will name and shame. But there are other issues that comes with it. The Americans Kofi, the public, the country, and the state Ghana should pick an ass. Say, we are documentary now. Fakoma a friend is saying BNI and a former national security. A kabia reborn who biano yutuauka. The Western society, they have the correct and also dangerous investigative exercise. Omo police won't mean yenina. And to share the Americans, or share the British, the Scotland Yard. Omo private investigators, some of them are journalists. They don't show their images, they don't show their documentary to a television station outside there in the world, negativity the country, discrediting the British, discrediting the Qatar, discrediting the Americans before they go and give to American police. It is not done that way. It is against the identity of the country. Ghana as a country, and I'll be serious here, sorry for my words, we are fools to some extent.
Wow.
Reason being very simple. Your countries were Middle Europe, and whoever is living in Europe listening, you dare not, a journalist at their airport, anything that has to do with drugs, you don't report. No journalist is allowed in their court to report drugs-related cases. Several countries, Switzerland is one. I'll not mention the others, but whoever is living in Europe will testify this. Because it portrays and sends the negative news out of the country.
I remember Dubai, an accident to be see. Me phone say me chat, and I was shocked. Kofi and my mind also say, what is happening? Actually, I mean, say you can go online and search Dubai accident. You will not get
Kofi, me tell me. Many problem with a nice document, but the usage that Ghana, you show Ghana customs all over the world. You show Obia Oria fertilizer 1 bag over the world. You show Obia Sebi Odin Komo, and you show judges shown by Al Jazeera. So you can bribe, and you can weigh your draw sports issues. Qatar, Ebeko World Cup, Ebeji World Cup 2020, no, billions of monies were spent. It is also corruptible practices. Me who say Al Jazeera na your journalists be ewo Qatar what show Ediama Ghana TVC yenhwe. I'm talking about national identity, respect for a nation, patriotism. I must be bold in anywhere in the world. Show my passport, and they will not tell you, oh, you people, your customs are thieves. Yes, it is a local content. Our customs are thieves, and I've told you, Kofi, without fears. On your program, that Ghana is one of the most corrupted nations in the world. We are talking about it here. We are not showing any reportage of it to the world, because serious nations, Macau, smaller nations, whom are advertising, paying billions of money for CNN to project. It does not mean that there are not criminal activities. The Netherlands, you dare not try. Said journalists be put to headline. And Timamincho on the early 2000s, mid 2000, late 2000, when Ghana governments of the day, under President Kufuor, under President Mills, they tried to say, yes, we are the Holy Ghost, we are the Holy Fire, we are the Vaticans and the monks operating on the soil of Saudi Arabia, Mecca, Jeddah, and also Jerusalem. Into any small thing beyond the airport to be a Ghana frontline news, the next day, news shown around the world. So it got to a point, say, Ghana official asked them, diplomats, ministers, or the diplomatic line section, you sold yourself out. The identity of the country is dented. And it affects me, it affects you. So let Anas give the documentary, pay as a country. That's what a serious nation operates. Collect his works. Let the CID process. He has an evidence already, so they cannot distort it. Yeah. Then it could be used in court. Serious nations, its security for criminal police will collect it, process it, give to prosecutor. Prosecutor have enough evidence into their questions neighbor or ya near do we actually nipa no be jail quietly abra obi to Togo one in the SC or Ghana. That is where I have my problem. It is not a matter of Kwesi Nyantaki'S. It is not a matter of GFE. It is not a matter of bad cause. If Anas continue and everything about Ghana is exposed to the world, we are coming to a time, I'm sorry, a day will come, Anas will face cameras at the palace of the Tumfo, at the palace of Yana, at the palace of what's the name? Ochehine. And then it will be shown on Al Jazeera, seeing your king bathing naked. Is that what Ghanaians we are talking about here? Let's talk about the content and its usage. Let's encourage the boy, but let us put a brakes on certain expose, because selling to Al Jazeera, if the content is commercialized, it is no more an investigative journalism. It is a business venture and an enterprise. Because he says that he's been paid and he has sponsors. How many Ghanaian journalists, how many British journalists are almost so deep feedback? And someone here is in London about Swebini. Ocean television, do saying. And someone here is in New York State a day. Ocean TV so our Korea now. It is domestic issue. It must be dealt domestically. So we have a crack investigative journalist. Yes, I like him for his boldness. I like his business exploits and how he handles this program. Beautiful. However, the content, the Ghana government, and I challenge the presidency. Someone in your agreement on farmer DC and BNI, or from now your copy into some of the wrong information, but now you throw it out.
The original one number.
But you don't sell Ghana out all the time over somebody stealing cement. Edima Al Jazeera. Edima BBC. Kofi, are you getting the orientations?
What you might be a different way. Every interview as an American strong, but direction I it's quite interesting.
It is an interesting say, Kofi. Countries, other places, and someone in Kosovo. We will not encourage a crusader, you know it, of corruption and corruptible practices. I'm against it. I talk about it. But as long as I continue to be a Ghanaian and I want to be respected on the corridors, I want to be respected on the frontiers and barriers of other nations as a Ghanaian. Don't sell only the negative documentary of Ghana to Al Jazeera and British and the allies. But let us see a documentary, investigative documentary. It doesn't need always to be negative. There should be positive in the investigative documentary. Which we see, say, a Kwebiasi, Abriwabi, or 80 something years, no Krasekai, no Aquati Coco, no Obo, for the Western world to know, say na chocolate na Odino, Nipa Wena de Baye. That is also a documentary. What I say? Crack documentary investigative journalists, documentary experts, Humphrey Bogart of Austria. He went to the Central African Republics, Cameroon, Gabon, Central African Republic, Bongi, Brazzaville, and the Congo Kinshasa, that forest. And you know they still have pygmies with tails, human being. Yes. And one new continent and or accustomed in home or no mere fine. Or do me I'm sorry, then they shut down. No record. But because the governments at that time feel so, oh, at long last you knew what was going on. The government was even interested how they will use the pygmies and how they will even, they are human beings. Say, I'm no matter what we say zoo for share about team and to say nipa or team. Maybe what I say. Humphrey Bogart here waiting in a year before they realize no what to make real pygmy back. A kg no. Italy circles or the Nijiska. And that was the end of Humphrey Bogart to come to the Central African Republics. He was declared wanted and the United Nations supported that. You cannot disgrace a nation. I'm not against Anas recording. But the energies and the synergies, the strength, any the intelligence, any the Anas, young fan call the offices of the state where our money is leaking. Now we are young farmer police. Now I'm not saying coordinating to me. Say, money recognize mandatory portfolio. Like say what the Amam Hatinami do. And Kanasi going on fan CID. Because he get to CID, this exception about out because Anas Nankosa recognizes say ultimately a complainant. He is not prepared to go to the police to be a complainant. And he throw the case out of the wind. But let every Ghanaian understand say the fact that a documentary is shown out there does not mean that police can easily get up and go and arrest anybody unless there's a complainant. Who is then the complainant? Is that you or I? International documentary,
but state didn't take it up.
That is the state must take it up, depending what the state and what the state want out of it. It is the state didn't take it out. Don't forget, said the state, you need banana republic. The rule of law and the constitution of the country works. You don't pick somebody's private investigations, a material, and then you come. Now state in say my pick and yes, we'll prosecute you on that. Is that what the country that we live in? No. You must prove and prove beyond doubt the meaning and the quality, the content and the genuineness and the authenticity of it. State doesn't pick anything and come to court. And there are cases state takes to court and they fail. And if I'm going to watch it, we are going to watch a normal video. Application of the law to arrest or unarrest hangs in the balance. It will be a tough case. And Ghana should leave. Say, you perceive how this case will end.
When is it ever end the same?
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy is the same. And
Basi BB.
Okay.
Either positive or negative.
Okay.
There's a destination of it.
Okay.
Now let's get serious again. Say antimine anasa nyesa. Or catch there will say or want him for one partners.
Yeah.
So what Anas is doing is a business. Is he recording for Al Jazeera? So they paid for the content. So how much has Ghana government also invested in Saudi Arabian journalists? So on some capture information about the Saudis. No meaning Ghana studio. Without hot water? No. Can a Ghanaian journalist go and investigate in UK and then start showing the materials? You dare not. The country's identity must not be dented. That is my requirement.
But there is this belief, say, Katashana Doso, or Ghana, and you hear such radical moves.
Radical moves means, say, and I make a very piece of information, piece documentary. Very good piece. Perfect. I don't have anything about the production. The production, you can call it conk. Execution, conk. But the usage of the content, that is where the problem is. So, if we only have to wait until say it is publicized, it is advertised before the state move, what is the point? Until we need material, strong evidences like what Anas is showing to prosecute the people, but then let us process it well. It's the processes that has the problem with it. Now let's talk about sports.
But processing, no, I do say one man to ja. Yet a country, so.
Kofi Amani told you, and I mean, no, I can say corruption, the be no. Customs the be by. Kofi me who custom officer be a oko jail.
Yeah.
It was bothered on legality. So the documentary could not be used as a valuable evidence, an ingredient to put those customs officials in bail. What was that customs will be called jail? Rather, it became what? Almost a local or internal punishment. And some were interdicted, some were suspended based on the gravity. And yes, Aneti. And that's so if then that documentary, Sanas were right, and a state in Nigeria, and a state prosecutors, and the Gina court, and no more prosecutor, Kasanko phone in Abekoje because it borders on Ghana uniform. They were wearing Ghana uniform. And no one say Ghana customs and where we are cassava or ton, where we are a year friend is saying cocoa or ton, Yanko show no CNN. It borders on the country's identity. World. 10 worst prisons in the world. American for 4 ewum. 10 worst prisons in the world. American for 4. You show documentary movie and you dare not. But America, they are the architects of what? Human right. But what I say? It is not shown. Country be our identity. Now young kwan sports. In realm was sports. Sports world is the 7th continent of the world. Your friend said world of sports. It's not because everybody, the whole world is involved.
Okay.
And we call it, they offer what? Games. What are some of the games? It be a bicycle. It be a athletics, field events. It be a soccer. It be a boxing. It be a badminton. It be a cycling. It be a motor racing. Ni a world of sports. Now, what does it seek to attract? KOFI TV say it is a game, and nobody should have it wrong. That anything that has got to, that has to do with game, no, KOFI. Every decision on it is a game decision. They don't celebrate a year of it. Chirame country awaje World Cup. Nani year soon you know celebrate. KOFI say do birthday debia. Ghana celebrating independence debia. Even Valentine 14th January February. What the crowd Ghana forgets Becca will say. And then Valentine's Day celebrate. Brazil J World Cup baby. What is Brazil celebrating World Cup or J? It comes and the next day it is vanished. And let me tell you how it works. Soccer body, and the flagship of sports. No other thing. Football is the biggest among all sports. And internet. And you sound dosu. FIFA, CAF, all the federations now form ye FIFA no. KOFI yeni baku. Vatican chairs Chromebon Krano, Omuya. Jeddah Mecca, Omusha Kaba, not Saudi Arabia for no more bribe referees. No country bribe referees and buy matches more than Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, no, Kaba, Kenishe. Jerusalem, the 2 holy cities, Omushe. The Hindu temple, Omushe, Omutia. What it tells you is that it is an activity orientation that targets what is called a results. A yes will be winning into a friendly competition.
Okay.
Anything that has to do with competition, everything comes into play. Politics wo lobbying wo sika ko people's emotions, people's feelings, and it combines a lot of forces. Now let me take you a step back. 1998, your first country be France. Na o peso host World Cup ye the man no onya World Cup ni binji. So they wanted to win World Cup at all cost. France as a country, a state, okoto match Emma Brazil 4 players Ronaldo and co no mu ginom na so eje sika Emma Brazil we are so many running stomach. France is shown 3 right after the World Cup. What happened in France? The France workers union said France for entrum workers salary no this kakoto match or Brazil o man trom salary mo bu Olympic stadium negum. They increase their salary, so it is admitted say matches are bought. Now let's go to the FBI and Seblata. FBI for sorry we know me TV 3 years ago Seblata kikike gagaga jwa for avalanche wom nyina omkochi wom a perfect investigations yo FBI or new investigation chair FBI omu wie no omo be pese Seblata de natum the shaming and the man resign here, but to prosecute on that, I'm sorry, soccer and in games people should understand it in a different context. It doesn't follow the normal principles as cases should be. Swiss investigators were now on the neck of the FBI. Said when the man kwakra man be we krum and bebe number be sadien enti se mo person ba che Seblata nam prosecute case in dia mo mra me complain e was Swiss police. That was the end of the case. what in one bio. Then the defense of the FIFA say American former a choir so far so edgy in 1996 World Cup a host to Atlanta because now Sydney was ahead of them. Ghana government me say I understand sports. Ghana government and me say country Ghana has never lobbied say the bought Nations Cup. No more call lobby no the cassava and the koyana. So you are corrupt in sports. You will be corrupted in sports.
Were you corrupt in sports?
You will be corrupted in sports.
Were you?
Kofi, you will be corrupted in sports. I have supervised one because you know what? It is a game. The results will be washed away after it has passed. Let's talk about Germany. Let's talk about Italy. Let's talk about Spain, France. When the 2006 World Cup, the parents, you know, Italians raised an argument say Luther Matthäus of football and no aside their tomb. So Italian journalists be say that the balls were heated. Intina German for epeja omni balls no. It is a game. It is a system, Kofi. You cannot change it. You cannot. No, Kofi, you cannot change anything in sports. You cannot. CAF, Ejisika, lobby, the FIFA president be. Na Seblata, the plain by Kroma by lobby Ghana. You Musa Ghana government says Seblata bano. No cra, akekru. Lobbying in football, lobbying in sports. What does it mean? Can lobby in their chair. South Africa 2010. Na yenya maestro kan lobbying team no ho. Na George upon ya his excellency no kan lobbying team. Mu so say countries no omkoya no. The handkerchief na koya na. Me pa what you say? Yanka country Russia. As we speak, the state Russia, the country Russia, anti-doping federation say Russian athletes bimra near meters Russia say me mo international ayibiabium. Omo sample no, I'm sorry, urine no yabegin wahaya. Yamfane mamu. So the state and the countries and the federations and the authorities admit the facts say ewo ho. Awesome boat. Or when you turn a 100 meters race, or $2 million, fine. But will be a man bet $20 million. Olusua, intiminu me no akobet say also the obe winning. 2 minutes to the last flap. No what theater, no be abisan ho. It is a world of sports. Me ba choti ase.
Me tie pa.
Accra has so folk Kumasi Asante Kotoko. First match, Chastela, Ekobo Kotoko. Referee no gina we nipa te 7 no mienu. Ye bo extra time 16 minutes. 16. World record, Guinness Book of Record. Extra time 16 minutes because na Kotoko peso mu share. Kofi, your friend world of sports.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper at the goal, best keeper at the goal. World Cup stage. Nisika defie. What the go, what defend obedu World Cup. Final match. Suria Esheno. World of sports. Busa Olele. Yenya Olele. World Cup 2006. On any issue mnya kofren busano. Say a him for not an individual, a country approaching with $300,000. I want to hotel so one genuine show. And your individual and by a state country lobbyists. And also on your friend Irene and Irene Sole Lewan ya Obagana onidi. But one G, it is world of sports.
Yeah.
Sad story. A young girl in the 90s, 91, 92, who was the best tennis star, Monica Seles. Or show be a Swiss American born. And then the buyer. That time the best tennis star in Europe was Steffi Graf of Germany. And the Germans and the Europeans were poised. So small girl will disgrace you. Or the France Open, or the Hamburg Open, or the USA. No. Now it was a disgrace to them. What did they do? They invited Monica Seles to Hamburg Open. Obi a all bo. All kwe you know. Obi one sekai or nechi. 1 week, German declared said the person was mad or mental problem. That was the end of Monica Seles' world of sports.
Wow.
Ayrton Senna, best racing driver, race car driver from Brazil. Brazil for any racing cars. It is done Europeans Neziska Monaco Open. What happened to Ayrton Senna? Wabeji sika tournament biya ba no abeji Ferrari no age Benz no age na jama Europeans no tuska gum no abeji sika no de call. They crash him to death. World of sports. Alonso, best bicycle racer. Onko kan to Austria Alpine no, because somebody has to be first. World of sports. Anything that has to do with game. Kofi Aduma, you're a young boy. Odu akuma DHR, you will die. Nothing in sports is genuine. Nothing. We can talk about minimizing. What came to Sepp Blatter's mind? I will introduce to fair play. I don't know who introduced to fair play. At the end of the day, no, he was also caught. Obi introduced to fair play, no, and then a buy. Why would they introduce fair play? Because they know say it is not fair. Game cannot be fair. Betting companies of Singapore, that is the history. FIFA take you mom say, yeah, my betting company be a my sports. As we speak today, one of FIFA's biggest sponsors are betting companies. So they determine where the match should go. World of sports. Guinness, JVC, Panasonic, big companies who must sponsor World Cup. They determine which player should win the best footballer. They determine which player should be the best golden ball winner. They determine which team should win. And for that matter, FIFA want cash cow teams. Team that gives money to FIFA. Cash cow. Spain, or a cash cow. Germany, or a cash cow. Brazil, or a cash cow for FIFA. And to initiate match, she said, "We must see porting any teams on the mountain." Yeah, Ghana and Brazil. Now on call and fuck up in a cry about crowd television crown will be near being shared. You best see you am wako, and that brings you to 1990 World Cup, Cameroon and England. With Jamila Musquadon, Umari Hosem. World of sports. Obi Kasai, no. After the show, after the game, it is ended. Yen celebrate the winning BMO. Yen in 1 year. Last year, Dodgy World Cup, last 4 years, Brazil, German 4G, no. Woman celebrating the following year, say, a year of winning the World Cup. And the decision be our sports be a menye CSC. And they said, what the sports issue at the back said the Yemi and dance the Abano. Your team was a mere PC who find documentary. But Kofi, I can tell you, say, let Anna stick because no Ghana court can call a referee, your chain say or Jiska, so the referee, but it can never happen. It doesn't work. In sports, it doesn't. No. The referee belongs to a certain association. Referee no, or belonging to a certain association, which is the FA. International documentary no, say FA for no mutama na obetama womwa, obejinisika. But sir, what coach say team manager way. Please, the public should understand this because they don't have an idea. Yeah. So let us educate the public. So who said 2 team managers, changes ka na documentary no. It is just shaming them. But nobody can prosecute that. Nobody. You know why? No. It is between the association. Ghana Football Association is not a what? A established for Ghana government. A limited liability company. Ghana only team. Kotoko nothing team. Has nothing team. Drantes nothing team. Edwana Ghana ma OBS kaso mfanti team. Inti ebewo Ghana club. Inti clubs ni nyina aka hubom. Eno ma father I friend GFA. Ghana Football Association. Any bantuma nyade yekuru pe. Any Votarian Association of Banana in the same. But let us look at one thing. Where I also disagree when some of these things is shown. Internationally now, it affects the image of the country. Meaning say one. There is no association in Ghana out of the lot. Any Ghana president should come and tell me. Your boxing association, bicycling association, karate association, taekwondo association. No association in Ghana had portrayed and advertised and sent Ghana name more than the GFA. So you don't throw the baby out with the bad water. We manage and we find a way to resolve issues. That association, any the only association ultimately worst case scenario, ultimately $2 million back. Yensha association na our Ghana this kaba. For me, Kofi, you should know me by now. I'm very frank. Yeah. And I'm very subjective and objective on issues. Because I don't deal with people's emotions when it comes to the realities. Yeah. And we are talking about realities. Yeah. Public, amount for it Ghana Football Association, ESCO Executive Committee decided say abano ana sedu ni abant anas arimi ya etete ye team ni nyina de kobo Togo national team case we nonsense. There is no law to force Kotoko to play league in Ghana. You don't know? Kofi Nimana. No. GFA is not for Ghana government. Ghana government go on and invest as a partner because or advertise Ghana because of the Ghana din eko. So Ghana government person who bigger say anti team Nyanfa ministries 11 non-farmer league no.
But I mean yes politicians are able to influence even selection of players.
I don't make sure say. I know your Kofi and no extreme instances. It is not the basic line of the fact.
Okay.
Minister, because don't forget, said the FA does not operate in isolation. We're a triangular member of the three. Ministry of Youth and Sports is the agent for the government on sports. The FA is one of the operating agents or a partner. Yeah. And it's a minister because Munchana Nipa we see the entire Omukotia national team no because Ghana woman a flag. Players never select to do uncover ball. And one player, I like the Gruza player. I confess a player. I do a player. What do I say? I Hazak's player. I wise player. Hazak's good and Ghana government what you own here. Why is good and own here? Beer not a good own here. So if you believe said the association of Johnny Odia, go and give them money and let them come back. Omo pay sponsorship Ghana government here. Why are Ghanaians? Do they understand that? Serious nations, South Africa, your Ghana Commercial Bank, your ADB, your National Investment Bank, your the NPA, National Petroleum Authority, way, state corporations, Baku Crane Hall, Ghana team BJC. Teams in the struggle. And Uncle team non player, Omuxika non the running club. When you play a car at the news, na tournament Beba World Cup Olympic Games, no mark of team no mark of Juomo players. Somebody had invested in those players. So long as you don't give them money, they will sell matches, they will be corrupt. So South Africa, they instruct the state corporations. Botswana, they instruct the state corporations. Say, you, ADB, Kokofa Olanto Paris. You, Kokofa Way. Niente o taxes so na team no ontimi nhwe ne players na government na nya bi na ode na kobo international tournament. That is how it operates. Are we sleeping? Are we sleeping? Tell me one state corporation, a bank over 45 230 branches, Ghana Commercial Bank on she team BIJC be ma blast and cover match nhwe no akoto milk 5 pack no de abeje ayi media yi no the coverage no the call international company Guinness and Oban sponsor Ghana Blasters na momo ho. Which country does that? Because we don't understand the demographics and then the subjective entities. Kofi Yantias yo Makacho said this country is a talking cricket, is a talking nation. Because the real fact assembly bar, we don't want to educate the system. People even think, say, GFA, no, GFA is not for government. It is the clubs in Noma Comhadum, Noma Tium Association, and Noma Bom League. When yes, can running league now, no much.
But does the Black Stars belong to Ghana?
Black Stars is the flag of Ghana government.
And so
Ghana, and the Black Stars is not a team. It is the association that collects players from these clubs, not the Ghana government. And as long as a international tournament of the world, you Ghana government have to sponsor.
Okay, but if a flag and a Black Stars,
thank you.
And so they represent Ghana.
Yes.
Na yekwa ni yelusu. Yekwa enkoye.
Because the capacity is not there.
And then it is alleged say the leadership are so when they manage football.
That's right.
That's
right.
Enkoye.
That's right.
And you have Mugabe.
Yes.
Only determine enti no sebe ko yue enkoye ejina no so.
That's right.
Oye ne hwienye yi.
That's right.
And an expose comes to say,
yes,
that no crowd corrupt.
That's right.
Ghanaians jump on it and become happy. Say, finally, your Mugabe is gone.
Yes. Now,
fault
Kofi,
someone.
And I'm sure say, say, yeah, this is Kama Effie boss, and the Effie. Say, Monfa Ghana team, Monfa come Mozambique and Kobo tournament. Per diem, me Ghana government, me 1,500.
Yeah.
What do you now come on 500? A criminal offense. The government can move in because the product was a Ghana government sponsorship product.
Okay.
Okoba World Cup. Now we discount on 3 million. Mon fanko ye team ni ho ade. No ma cost spend 1 million. No match 2 million. A criminal offense. No mom say team bi ni team bi. Referee bi shebabi. Referee, you cannot do anything unless you give him to the referees committee of the FA. When you come at FIFA, you better refer the Ghana FA. Yan try a case a test case. Document when FIFA. So when you're interested, that they'll pick it up. If they are not interested, they'll give back to Ghana FA. Say on can wasem. FA for say nipa ne wom kwa nya case nada. Something that borders. And yet the state sponsor now accounts. But I'm saying say Ghana government need this Kabi or the Ministry of Youth and Sports on air disbursements, and that is certainly the case. Omo to kwaya Ministry of Youth and Sports no. On air disbursements no. And is the FN beka che say hotel 20 cedis. Wo wan your back check na so akotua hotel 20 cedis amana. Se eba de odi sika na yen ko bisa the ministries. Yen bisa wo mom gi sika no. Because it is your duty to check, supervision, monitoring and control and report. Compliance. Monye. Me ba jwa dey say.
Ya so sika egu play mo. E dey Brazil.
E say che government no.
E say che government no.
And say Ghana government no this can go play mo. If for no this can go.
The players are demanding they are.
And I'm just saying. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. When this says can go, was that the GFE? Kofi me when it comes to their such matters on sports, please. GFA for the discount Ghana government the discount it was an embarrassment to the government. The money could have been given to them on in time. Who was to do the disbursement? A Ministry of Youth and Sports. And there's no delay in a problem, Kokobai, it is your business. Say players in Koje Brad no my share Ghana, it is a Ghana government. Truth must be said aside as such. Let's look at the case as it is. And let's just not deal with people's emotions. Because Nyantaki'S is not a saint. He cannot tell me, say, when induce you match that as an FA president, oh baby. Or no any team why all stars, one team can just on to match that. But Kotokosun team can just want to match that. Ghana government, your referee African continent here. Wabedi a match any Senegal. And yet a Kwesi Nyantaki'S na a president. Your man is referee Nisika. Or demand a man you know Ghana government side the can golden tulip no kodae. Can't train top prostitutes at the my referee. A football. What are you talking about? Winning the countries here. Ghana under 20 team, Olympic team, Echo Cameroon. Yani Cameroon national team under 20. Near bomb match. 10 minutes to foot and Ghana show 2-0. Ghana was qualifying for that Olympic tournament. Cameroon for Dumom light. Light off. In gentlemen to us. The next day, and Jejin and Sum Boy no share Ghana, World of Sports, FIFA no mo share. Do you understand it? Who share gamer, Kofi Shani say who share sini. Anything I'm say. Yanche obi a say wa win tournament, no agene cap, wa agene belts. Na the following year, the same year, and all celebrating his birthday, be because it was a game. The feeling of it is washed away 20 minutes after its existence. BBN empty.
Let me see some comments I'm for Ede Abba. Bismarck Kwesi said this man is so naive. Nana Kwame say Master Kwesi Nyantaki'S used the president and the vice president name.
That one we haven't dealt that
investors. Issue. Kwadio ya was wow Ghana. Kofi Boateng Daniels was say opani we true no power. Timothy Owusu was say wow, he's making a lot of sense. Let me clap for him. No abone say papa. Pelpo Bilal say this man is speaking the reality. Full stop. We say Master Mabom and Sama DJ Master P Mix no abone say the football account. Ahmed Yakub was say okay. Was say Wahab, before I respect you today, I am not you. I don't get it. I say before I respect you today, I am not. Okay, Patrick Yeboah. Sapon Moses was it so? We will not take this world to anywhere, so we should steal and even sell Ghana, right? Salome Kobe was it? Please, if you don't agree with him, share your idea and no insults. Was it Kofi Adoma who hiamwa akuya hene YGH? Raz Dawood was our president is chilling in Nyantaki'S pocket. J Nana Yao Alote was it Mr. Man? Do you have evidence? Hey, Kofi NY was it tell it to them, educate the public. DJ Master P was it will make it sense. Was it overall corruption? Point taken. What is the way forward? Cabo na Becky no debaye. Boyas or that say wow. Abraham and Enin wasrea. Was say the certain is people on this platform need to go to school to understand this wise man speaking. Ike Don and what they buy. Wait there was it the world of sports. You have break record today. Hey, Ohima Ama Ponsan what they buy. Was your president is still okay? Nyantaki'S pocket was under baby. Was your opinion there? As a more can the minute no any agent wheezy one ever. Was say then football is satanic. Quatin Andrews. Selassie Enyonam say Kofi please give him fruity water. So far fruity water, right? Boyas Odate was say this man gets fat. Wow. We say so this man is saying corruption is normal.
No,
how can Emmanuel Tete and whatever. Was say openi ya dream he is wise. Isaac Pobi Bini. Was say if your level of thinking is tiny, you will not understand this man. Period. I'm a GH and what they buy. Was it you are supporting corruption? J Nana Yao Alote. Was it Kofi? You don't have to read certain negative comments. Yes, in Shaba Pa Kwesi Abbas and Samuel Kisiedu. Was it? I remember when late President Professor Mills was a tax commissioner. He used to appeal to clubs to come for tax breaks based on presentation of statements. Sapo Moses was it could be. That's what he's saying. And I was Kofi, please don't read insults live, please. You realize I'm jumping the insults. Was it people just don't understand him? Isaac Pobi was a great man with great knowledge. We free Matthew Ho. Al-Wahab, you are great. And a Ghana ba Padmore by wow, this man is real. And free Bonzi GH. Don Wazi say this man me no nya kra. Sapon Moses was it this man is trying to say corruption is normal.
No.
Kofi, read this comment. Is that what you are trying to say?
Kofi, I've granted a wider interview 2.5 hours on your program.
Yeah.
And I've said and said and said again that corruption, I'm a crusader. Kofi, you know my position on corruption. Yeah. I'm talking about objectivity of this particular instance. The president's side of the story in Kofi and Dili.
Yeah.
Kwesi Nyantaki'S whatever he said about the presidency, you know.
Yeah.
Of course. Who will sit and allow somebody such an exposes na okan niema say be a president Shen Butum. Yes, me no me note the context will be as a president Shen Butuma.
Yeah.
For me, yes, it's a bad talk. I'll call it a loose talk. What I say.
Yeah.
But that is where if anybody listening say if such video, this expose is out there, whether Kwesi is telling the truth in my case, let it be the lies, which of course, it could be a loose talk. It could have been Kwesi Nyantaki'S no also try say also investigation is not restricted to one person. Where FA president be also investigating KOFI to see who they are. It's also another technical reason. But if this video is out there, the Western media would translate it in another version. Please, Ghanaians, let us educate and let's listen. Say, an individual is saying, the president is in my pocket. Does that validate the story that, oh, Ghanaians, your president is even in somebody's pocket? So it is what? An admittance that even our president is corrupt. That's what I'm saying, issue such content, much as Anas, edit such expose in Abba. Ghanaians should not clap when it is shown on BBC, when it's shown on Al Jazeera, when it's shown on XYZ, because the protection, the identity, the respect of the president must also be guided, whether good or bad. Those living in America, did they remember the story of the CBS News, the longest serving CBS News forecaster, 25 years, during the Osama and the George Bush affair, the Iraq invasion, etc. He went on there and said that it is a business with the Bush senior didn't finish with Saddam, didn't finish with Osama. That is why the junior is coming to me. It took under 10 minutes, both Senate, both Congress, the two houses, asked CBS to take him off the air and never come back anymore, because it affects the Americans' identity. You don't come and insult your country. Because what can say, Anas say, or say, he's sponsored by Al Jazeera. In Ghana, for Ghanaian journalists and Susuna, Holland also sponsor woman, Emma will unearth the rot or Holland. I'll never support any corruption. Please don't get me wrong. If you don't understand that, it's okay. But if you understand what I'm saying, the sports aspect in the Indian film, sports once a man can. We shame them. It is up to Kwesi Nyantaki'S and the GFE when it comes for them to correct their files. But I'm talking about the fact that when it comes to prosecuting sports issue, coach be referee that does not validate my stand. May support corruption. Please understand me on that. President issue and what came out from Mr. Nyantaki'S leading to the arrest, we haven't talked about it. So the public couldn't have concluded on that. What I'm saying is whatever that is said against our president, the right direction and the right step is what the president took. But I said, there should be a complainant. And the president being an intelligent, smart man and a lawyer, that is why if you read, it said the president instructed or the president complained. So the complainant in this case is the president, who will be represented by the Attorney General. And then also prosecution to be led by police to some extent. And nobody is saying corruption is good. No, I haven't said that, and I never would I say that. But I'm just saying, you use Anas documentary, no. Now share the correct passage, how to use it. Anas yen a documentary, the cortes are also echo. Now, Kobatsa mimini Ghana ni minu mienu, ye share every time negative things about Ghana.
Okay.
The little girl, a Christian Amampo interview. Moisha issue. If you read the comments, what people say, she's doing what? She's disgracing Ghanaian women. Are they not the same people writing here? Why would anybody say and console can so allow her to flow? But it bothers
on you. Like equating Moisha's case to Anas's.
No. I'm saying that it's an individual issue. I'm talking about identity and disgracing a nation.
Okay.
What Moisha said, she might have said it referring to herself. But at the end of the day, good number of Ghanaian women, about 98% of Ghanaian women, were not in agreement because they feel that they work for their money. So they don't support what she said. Some also said that it was the reality, but the reality was on what platform? Christian Amampo acknowledged the fact that her country, France, United States of America, where she has lived all her life, the girls are bad than Ghanaian girls. France girls are bad than Ghanaian girls. But she has never interviewed any France girl who says that French politicians or French big men, if you want to have their money unless you sleep with them. She has never.
Yeah.
Because she can never get that interview, and she would never ask that question, or any American girl, because she realized that Akrano, the level of thinking or from she took advantage of her experience. And then I made sure say, let us do it. But please, Ghanaians, let us understand, say, and yet the Ghana is now leading the social negative of the world. The majority I say, yeah. We process this issue. Me, my country was a Ghana official. She acquire first with dear countries ka. And anas documentary ne niyama na oye no. Onye no Kong, onko so nye, but oya yenhwe areas pa say here and more. Sports ne ka ho yate is very important, but the processing and the usage of it, not state no hu sanas no, were valuable and we lack his product. Into usage of the product, and then I see a madden, trust them. Now allows us to feel. Now yes, say or say foreign what news news media, foreign outlets, yeah, and our sponsor ANAS, yeah, and we will show Al Jazeera. A bay Al Jazeera documentary. Now if ANAS Debiano, maybe drew country be as well. Look at you into him there. Ghana Blasters, or do tournament, international tournament, Biana. The BBC commentators now Omokano, that issue will be referred. The president's factor of it will be referred. Everybody's, I'm saying, say, what are Ghanaians going to receive this story if tomorrow comes and one of our revered kings is also the household of the king? Our queen mothers. I see what mention the baby home. I mention say you mention ko na ya. Me so no. Many see sorry them. When I could many say sorry, the many see Masalachi. Now Al Jazeera is sure. Do you know what happens in Saudi? Do you know what happens in the kingdom? Do you know what happens in Kuwait? Me can say it happened, but management of the product, management of the documentary, it is needed empowerment to the country Ghana. In the end, who a documentary portray the good side of Ghana on the international platform. Imaging is much needed and very important and key to national development. I hope you understand me.
Rwanda recently, Omar Brande, and now everybody is talking about them. Kwesi and what is happening now.
I've told you, Paul Kagame will not allow certain details to go out, but he would deal with it strongly in his country. I don't just need some money or ho. And no animals maker. Say young shall quite a befas will be used to ANAS documentary. Na country any feel said the importance of it, Yama special prosecutor. Yeah, His Excellency Martin Amidu, which Yamakan programs say Martin Amidu, the position he's in a fix. Rat, a crab won't me find into jail. Because the system is corrupt. Mingancho.
Okay, that's right.
The system,
when you say crab,
they say rats.
Okay.
Honorable Martin Amidu to me for rat and to me because Ghana system no pretty no. It is so rough and bad and corrupt. A woman to me man require no pretty. Don't me for be anti them. International say a status in a young liberty. Near man that kind of immunity. Near man that kind of gravity. Near man that kind of the power. So now say, now you can come to court. You can come with your evidence. Into one fan kotete. Now I'm throwing it in the wind. I'm not supporting corruption. Public should get it clear. I'm talking about the usage of the evidences of ANAS should be given to the courts if the BNI will be the final recipient there. Say Al Jazeera team free kata no be tria Ghana journalists kadia. What is Ghana government doing?
So your question Nyantaki'S nkabe resign.
You know what I mean? At this material moment, and I've said it, and I'll say it everywhere. Kwesi biggest problem resigning today, Ebronia and Kobeye. But now, I'm looking at it, Kwesi will need backup. When you vice president, I've accused him on radio. Ask every Ghanaian. Say he was operating as a president of the FA for about a month or two. after he sacked George Efriye. And I've said it, say, sacking George Efriye was a needless exercise. And having not appointed a successor of George Efriye was also a bad thing. Kwesi Ebia Nanka at that point, nko Ozetea, nka case we buy no. And I know all vice president. Kwesi could have saluted Ghanaians, my bread. No one could deal with the issue. But as we speak today, if he's not there, it becomes a blanket executive who now operates as the FA. And the FA is an association that must have a president. And whether he resign or not, no, I'm not him. And somebody will say, put yourself.
No, that's what I'm saying. Say you what?
Yes, so I should put myself in his shoes. Yes. He wears size 42, I wear size 43. So the shoe sizes are not the same. The decision will be.
So there are times we can wear each other's shoes.
The position, if I were to be Kwesi, my decision would be in my mind. Kwesi is a man, and I think he's matured, very matured enough. A good lawyer. Now, the CAF vice. Now, the only Ghanaian, the FIFA top executive, and then the FE, and then the ECOWAS, that is the WAFU. And to share this portfolio, sir, Sebi no be resign. Maybe I'll resign on the strength, sir. Onya can concentrate on the other one. Now can be a local one, on Gina Homie.
So they'll be praying.
Nature said, look,
maybe I resign. Had you need no hold
on, BB. Countries project, portray, support the good cause of their citizens.
Yeah.
With all the negative things, as some of us are writing, some of us are talking, and Ghanaians are talking, it is also not too bad having the first Ghanaian to have risen to the position of CAF vice president. It tells you it's a country, Ghana. The worst case scenario of our FA, yes, we are process will be. Kwesi didn't process himself. It's the country, Ghana, that processed him. So the credibility on the credit comes to the country. As a big record your title, no buy no. Say Ghana ni bia no ha otua ni training. But what they buy no, who was talking is the president. And yes, sir. Kwesi was FIFA. And all wafu. And it matters like that to buy. Locally, let's deal with it. Why not? But when it comes to the international scene, you ensure the management of it. Nobody agrees. Kwesi are corrupt or cited in corruptible practices that affect the state. Why not? Who says or you're exempted? I'm not, and you are not. And KOFI, you ensure the margins, the pros and cons. It is never fine for anybody to stand anywhere to talk XYZ on the president, against any statesman. What is the mission? Yeah. But let us also find a way how we handle this issue, and Ghana will not be the loser. The individuals within can be the loser. Country Ghana should not lose in this respect. Not at all.
KOFI NY, our image is tarnished. We overemphasize everything. Let it slide. No wonder Westerners taking advantage. Okay, no wonder Westerners are taking advantage. Say he will go to jail. DJ Master P Mix and Wade Ebaye. Wahab, you are making a point. We must protect our image always. I am in Italy, but I listen to Ghana news at times and I feel ashamed. Ali Baba and Wade Ebaye. Say yes, Ghana hates the truth, especially we, the Africans. Done. Wahab, you should be naive to think the West doesn't know about corruption in Ghana.
Oh, come
they
on.
actually started it. Go check the WikiLeaks thread on Ghana. Abdul Rauf. We say we judge easily Ghanaians. Samed. We say he's not the only human in Ghana. Daniel Laquat and Wade Ebaye. The reason Ghana is sitting on gold yet poor. Such like diplomat Al-Wahab presents in Ghana, but utilized to help the governance is sad. It's a sad distance. Oh, okay. Like such persons Nimdia way you utilize. Okay, but Ghana ain't utilize it. Okay, he says that Samuel in Kabi. Was how do you use good evidence in silence? Could be Emmanuel. Was it could tell your man that it takes one man to start a program and the rest helping to implement. Mensa Bonsu Enode Eno Ebaye. And so it's very interesting, very deep. This man is talking a lot of sense. Nibote Kujo. I love this man, Kwesi Boazi. Nyantaki'S camp, we are drinking chilled beer with dog meat. New debt. Enode Ebaye. Wase Kofi, we won't jail him, but we want him to resign because he has been the chairman for long. We free soldier boy ho wise man and a real mink the buy was a Kwesi all the way and was Ghana ata Eric and what they buy. In all, do you think say Ghana we are anti-progress with regards to Kwesi Nyantaki'S will have his positives, but we tend to focus more on his negatives?
Well,
or it's a fact to say Kwesi Nyantaki'S is so negative, he must go and he has overstayed and in future to
KOFI, combination of both forces, all of the forces, combination of all. So when you are doing evaluation analysis of a personality and a somebody else, let's look at the higher points and the lower points.
Okay.
There is no 100% of any human being, and then we settle on a certain equilibrium. We settle on a certain equilibrium. One, I ubisa ubia onime or team I radio. I've never been a supportive fan of anything that with the administration of Kwesi Nyantaki'S. Ask Kwesi himself. Ask whoever knows me in Ghana. It is bad, it's bad. If it is good, it's good. Under his tenure, maybe, Ghana stepped up the game. Under his tenure, we've gone to World Cup how many times? 3 times uninterrupted. Maybe.
Yeah.
From the 50s until then, a lot of presidents are bakoye. But ibia omentimanje. So when you are talking about good things, Kwesi, on that score, I think he stands tall among the Ghanaian past FA presidents or that time chairman.
Okay.
Under Kwesi's watch, which I will confront him and I confirm all the time, Kwesi, Ghana league have gone down low.
Yeah.
Because we've watched leagues before. The potency and the seriousness and the happiness that surrounded our Ghanaian league. So whilst Kwesi did well with the national teams, Kwesi did bad on the league front, which his team is part. I've said it openly. It has other reasons, factors added up. But at the end of the day, it was under his tenure. Kwesi will still say, Ghana league is still competitive. I would disagree. It is not competitive as we think. Maybe what I say. Into on higher points or on lower points. Contents of Anas expose is yet to come. Let's see how it is. I'm just talking about one thing. Say, I have nobody, and I've never, and I will never say Anas Anyeni say all your documentary. I have a problem with the end users of the content. World against Ghana, not against Kwesi Nyantaki'S in this sense. But what I say?
Yeah.
For him to resign, I'm saying, say, Kwesi must be tired with all this.
Yeah.
But one should maybe allow, if tomorrow or yesterday, he says, I'll throw in the towel. So, some of these Ghanaians and some of us writing, some would also say, if another person come, no, it is the system of our governance.
Yeah.
What did we not say about President Mahama, about Jerry Rawlings, about President Kufuor? But when one steps out and the other one comes, now there are some of them out there, some of them out here saying, oh, say na baby and then come pe John Mama and yes, it is a human nature. we have right to our own opinions. But as a country, Ghana, we showing much interest in negative things of our country more than the positive sides. Into a business documentary, who said it in a difficult way. Our Ghanaian, yemma, yembewa, yemme mkra, AC struggle. Now some of them even come out good. That documentary is also needed so that we can strike a healthy balance to the Western world. Somebody made mention of Wikipedia, please. WikiLeaks talked about the whole world. It did not only talk about Ghana. So please go back to the WikiLeaks and you know the countries. They blasted, they talked, they did everything about America. They spoke negative about what? About Switzerland. They spoke negative about France. WikiLeaks spoke negative about every country in this world. They process only the negative aspect of diplomacy of every country. So please, Ghana is not in isolation. So you may be right, but it was not only about Ghana. And your Obino direction of information gathering, or you're interested in knowing the positive side of the nation. WikiLeaks is not God. WikiLeaks is not God. It's a human being like you and I. So they operated and they know the market target of their products and where they wanted to go. They were dealing with what? I didn't know be an environmental journalist, no be a criminal investigative journalist. Kofi Anamebwa. Yeah. So Kofi, we are all out. Aye. Anamebwa. Freelance. Enti, mama enti ase. Say ekro ba ku ne also. Yeah. Corruption ye nyina da bia Kofi say onim. Ye ka. Yeah. Ya hete. Say yen change your attitude. Akwasi is part, I'm part, you are part, everybody is part. Nema koba say ye ne asem a. Yen to ye boase. Say yen fan jump and na me say the state should have a way how they will use announced product so that it will not be say BBC Nama announce say throw Ghana out there. Al Jazeera throw Ghana out there. Most of these videos you see it in Al Jazeera before even Ghanaians come to know of it. Why should it be like that? It is a content being announced running. Not yet free of charge. Of course, a business enterprise there. Then some of us are saying, say, let's find a way, better way to use it for the state to benefit instead of selling your country out. Make a way, Ayaboni.
I will spend some few minutes on this one, and I'm so China. AU, African Union Day. Africa, I said, yeah, chow form. Strangely, we have everything, but strangely, we don't have anything. You go so bread, yeah, bread.
Yep.
Africa Union. There need a problem.
Your problem no yet. And number bear 4. First one, a political will. What does it? Second one, democracy. Third one, economic freedom. Fourth one, governance. These are the 4.
Okay.
What does Africa continent want? It's a saturated systems of economies with different kind of colonies. The difficulty is that the political difficulty is that we have different colonial heads and we're involved with a lot of colonial ideologies. Being British, the French, the Arab, the Portuguese, the Spaniards. This is where Africa has her problem as a continent. So what can Europe? What can Europeans do? European nations, the model Europeans and virtually the whole Europe, the countries were not subjected to colonial mastership. But what I say? Tell me how come many countries in Europe colonized by the UKs, except the Great Britain and their allies? The British did not colonize Germans. Germans did not colonize Belgium. Belgium did not colonize Luxembourg. Luxembourg did not colonize Switzerland. Switzerland did not colonize Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein did not colonize Austria. Come to the Baltic. Czech Republic was not colonized by Czech Republic. They had what was called, they were part of the what? Communist bloc, Russia, but they were not colonies. Yeah, then it's not like that. We came in late, so we have colonial masters. In the some of them, the old systems of the constitution, the governance, etc., your colonial masters in the two and we don't find way the flexibility say be lubricate na countries na free near taking individual decision that is where we have it when they meet as a bloc of the African continent. The days when we had pan-Africans, pan-African governments, or pan-African leaders, the Nkrumahs, the Haile Selassies, the Patrice Mulumbas, and others. So the modern day African presidents are very individualistic, and they don't have the power to talk. So one who came out said, I will salvage and do the collection of the Pan-African system and put all of them together was Muammar al-Gaddafi. And the West says we will not agree. Give democracy. So Libya is now having one of the perfect democracies in Africa.
You think so?
That is what I'm saying in negativity, Kofi.
Okay. Because Libya, they say...
That is what I mean.
Gaddafi...
That is what I mean. Africans wouldn't have been able to go to Europe if any European country was being punished by another European country like the Europeans did to Gaddafi. Where was the Africans? Meanwhile, the single currency, which I know was something you introduced, he propagated that single currency and said that I'll use Libyan resources to finance that project. The African Union bloc in Addis Ababa, country's contribution in that building, let's find out how much Libya contributed. How many cars or how many that was given to African leaders. Investments they did on the African continent because he was trying to do mobilization that let us move. He introduced one common passport. He introduced one common currency. He introduced open borders of the African continent, and it will not go down well with some of our colonial masters. Bearing in mind, said the French bloc, that is the biggest on the African continent, they still salute and give back. Their independence is 60 against 40. So France is still holding 40. So the French blocs in the African continent cannot give in to decisions. In terms of African protocols, what you are talking about is the charter and the protocols. That is where we have the problem. And when they meet, they go for tea party. Every blessed time they meet, communique is signed. Agreement is signed. Bilateral trade agreements, multilateral diplomacy, almost signed, baby. It has never worked out. So they see it's a normal, constant feature. So let's meet as African presidents. Let's enjoy the convoy. Let's meet, have our tea, go back to our hotel. Our beautiful wives are there. Our girlfriends are there. They just come and talk. When they sit in their aircraft, goodbye, teacher. It's just like school child that walk out classroom. Near pon. She need JB Adokochi teacher. Teacher, see you tomorrow. And Kofi, your problem no. It is undoubtedly the richest continent of the world.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly is the richest countries in terms of what mineral resources. What we have, the Western world can never. The Asians do not. The North Atlantic, the Nordic, they don't have it. We have everything. But because the political will, whilst Africa and Ghana won, we are concentrating on democracy. We are concentrating on democracy. We are concentrating on democracy. We are not concentrating on economic freedom. So political democracy, that is governance, elections, fingerprint is what is interested. That is where we are, We are at where we are now. And my country, your country, Ghana, is one of the leaders of such kind of exercise. The reason they say we spend time, energies, focus on how to educate the public. Say, could the line so yeah, let's you are Kofi Kokoda, your boy results or about Bontaba jubilate. So I said, excuse me, ni friend in Krom Kochen said this vote too. But when the vote is done, the ballot is casted, and then presidency is sworn in. You're supposed to give back the government by now concentrating on economic freedom, but don't concentrate on electoral freedom. But your presidents on the continent well over Africa, they do a turnaround and start educating the people on electoral reforms. They educate the people on democracy. How do you democratize me without giving me economic freedom? So on the African continent, we have no focus on economic democracy, but we focus on political democracy because they want to stay in power and do whatever they wanted to do, but not the people to be rich. Your problem is any here. Where's our problem? Tell us our problem. I've given an example on your platform before. Yeah. That Ghana has everything in commercial volumes. Your population is about 38 million. No problem, anything. People go to bed till today, empty stomach. No problem, anything. Your cities, every successive government promise of clean the city. That's the first agenda during campaign. And I've said it. It's not different from Togo. It's not different from La Côte d'Ivoire. It's not different from Sierra Leone. It's not different from Morocco. But at least some of the African countries in Kofi, Oma try say, Oma opposition, Oma home. Botswana for, Namibia for, countries have stepped up. Tanzania says Oma hokeka. What are we doing? And when they all meet as leaders on the continent, it comes to play with the perimeters and then the paddling of the colonial ideologies. It comes to play with who is who. It comes to play with who stands and move the African forward. Now, say now, Paul Kagame has stepped forward to be the African leader, no, AU leader. No. Let's see if his infusions, his new method of ideology, thinking will influence some of the countries on the continent. Either than that, one will celebrate AU Day. It is just commonly a holiday for African workers to stay home, but not any importance. We are celebrating nothing. Kofi nothing.
Yeah, the class dream home say, yeah, baby, DNS,
yeah, Addis Ababa, because share team party, good lunch, good buffet. Did you pay we are good by Addis Ababa? We come next year. Nothing will happen. The same protocols and the same chat, they will talk about it. They will sign the same diplomatic notes. They will exchange diplomatic letters. They will exchange agreements. BBN who is he? Kofi, from Togo border, so we call Lagos. That's supposed to last 4 hours. A trader, near me in the capital soon $200. What in the take it to free man? $200. Poor woman, poor man. What if free Accra ko Nigeria ko to enyi akoto common side your friends say a carbon paper aba beton. Ko for best sweat one custom to another. Our neighbors. Ghana custom beje, Togo beje, in and out back to back. Nigeria back to back or beje, Benin back to back or beje. Among the ECOWAS sub-regional, you require wire block ECOWAS. And then yet my the SADC, and then we my South Africa, Omo, and yes, Zimbabweans, Numdi Ka lynching Omo, the Zims, and your neighbor, Oman Pam Zambians, into African and India. Whereas Europeans now says that every European leave the passport, they cross the other one's frontier. Now from here, Ghana. And I are fortunate to Kenya free. But look at other countries. And let me not just step too far back. Ghana and Liberia. Liberia was an ECOWAS member and had been an ECOWAS member state. Until Liberia war in the 90s, Ghanaians were taking visa to enter Monrovia. And yet it was an ECOWAS. That's what you're saying. Yes, where? And the will, the political decision, the economic, the bilateral, the governance, all plays against, because we have the different forms of governance. It's not targeting say obema ni citizen no enya fahudi and any citizen benya hoto. They don't care say the health of the citizen is needed to them. They don't care the infrastructure of the citizens. And all the countries except very few of them and they are interested in that. Oma Kenyina, their only interest is political decisions. Turning the people, branding them to believe in democracy, so that you will keep quiet and don't talk too much. Democracy doesn't want noise. Don't demonstrate. We are a democratic nation. The world respects us. Ghana is the beacon of democracy. Gateway to Africa. The same thing, Nigeria for can be, Ubia can be. And when you go back to their homes, the citizens' reality, we are suffering as a continent. Then the Middle East, and then Odia Banchi enye, Odia yam enye, oni cocoa, oni coffee, oni timber, oni diamond, oni shea, or moya water, which is called oil. And so timima the citizens can nom their kowari. Kingdom life, timude. Na yeah they can saying. But the will. So African discussing, we discussing about AU. We have more than 300 years to go. 300 years to go before Africa can unite. More than 300 years.
Wow.
Kofi now from Ghana, go to Egyptian embassy, so Ghana no copper visa. They forgotten one thing, say they no more marital relations. And kaya president kwa wareho. And so till today, Ghana need visa to go Egypt. Ghana needs visa to go to Morocco. Ghana needs visa to go to Algeria. Needs visa to go to Libya. Needs visa to go to Sahara. Needs visa to go to Mauritania. What kind of nonsense is this? What kind of nonsense is this? What kind of nonsense is this? Who do a flower border? Ghana to stop Togolese. Yellow fever card. Togo also do her. Yellow card no your passport and no transfer. Cote d'Ivoire border so swear. You do me, I'll do you. But Europe, from southern Europe to the northern of Europe, a beer border not true. Or the card namusa or in the passport no their AC. Civility, civilization, respect among themselves and for themselves. Yet then we don't respect ourselves. We are not prepared to change. Meetings in any holiday need the best celebrity, but the reality say a bit might be the Kofi Adoma. It will not happen.
I better say a bit me and freedom, no said any day, any someone and ya seminal 300 years a day, Mua Sabrina, those of Moamoya who believe in reincarnation and more 15 times. Women's way believe no more Kwama, if we are so crab baby, and you know, a bad day. But we pray, say, a bit me a the purpose of this discussions, you know, say be ya dream TSC on certain matters. Na aboye obian for so any idea will be a team. You listen and then you are able to decide for yourself. But one thing I like about our Al-Wahab is that we are very objective and plain. Al-Wahab, the better say.
Vedma, Pacho, momentia says, Minkasi Michu, we support corruption.
Sure.
When Pacho, Minsan can say, Dana Sayano, Bonnie, why fantastic work. I've told you, I believe and I like how he went about it and the boldness. Name country Ghana should find a way to use the product. Name I end up say you go and when massy. Name Koba say one day in the future, the president to be Al Jazeera Bema Anas and the Kedino. Now Akoba say now we turn against. There must be a bit of, we have to be very civil in dealing with countries and nations. We are citizens of Ghana. We want to be respected when we reach certain airports. We want to be respected when we reach certain borders. So that finger pointing say, oh, we're Ghana ni. Ebiesida. 2010 coming there, 2000 coming up to the last 17 years.
Yeah.
Ghanaians have been disrespected across board. It is because of how we portrayed ourselves on the media front.
And about Australia, sports journalists, yes, sister, what do you buy?
India for any pom dom corridor, Ghana. Uganda nipom don koye chen Ghana for. Yes, yakoye, but because how we blow the matters when it comes up. So Ghanaian contingent in Ebano. Na journalists in Ghana hakrane di card yakose. Omo bane ibikro omo fufu, they are fufu pandas. We're dealing with our nations. All these things has to do with how patriotic and unpatriotic we are when it comes to dealing with national issues. Yenye angels. Never are we saints, and we can never be saints as a country. But we can do best and change our habits. We can change.
As America for Domo country change, Ghanaians loving Ghana.
Patriotism. Europeans, patriotism. Patriotic citizen. Look at in Europe, when you are in Europe, Naka Abu Obi, and now Obi Yare no ato form. See the masses, how they rush and everybody want to contribute. Now Chrome Hane Kanya accident, I mean no mu. Ghana ni bia jina how no in the camera. No in the camera. Aden, where is the love? We want the person dead, negative, more than the person alive. KOFI is a changing habit. Nyamen count.
On council. Yeah, do see ya. Thanks for watching. Yeah, crowd.